Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm going to make a startling admission to many of you. I was wrong to be overly cautious on the stock market. But having said that, I had my reasons, okay? My reasons being uh, I, I monitor the fiscal flows, as you know, and the growth in the flows this year and even last year have been very, very weak, very slow. And since I've been using MMT, which goes back a number of years, using MMT as a basis for my trading and investing, which has always been very successful for me, I have seen years of much higher fiscal flows in terms of the growth rate. And we've seen back and forth action in the stock market. I mean, last year was a case in point. We had the growth in federal spending at twice the rate that we are seeing this year. And we had plenty of back and forth action in the stock market. I can recall a lot of times when I was long on market corrections and, had to really, really be patient until the market turned around and put those long positions back into profit, which they all ended up to be. The other reason was that after the election, and I went into the election very bullish, and this is not my mea culpa or laying out a whole bunch of excuses, but I'll just tell you, I had my rationale. I saw Trump's team; there were a bunch of fiscal hawks, so I kind of bet in that direction, but that really hasn't panned out so far. Now the question is now, what do you do? Okay, I've admitted it that I was too cautious on the stock market, and let's understand one thing. This has been a very unusual market in that you have to go back 25 years to see a similar sort of condition in the stock market. That is a condition in which we have not had at least a 5% correction in all three of the major market averages. All right, you got to go back 25 years. So it's definitely an aberration. It's outside the norm, and it will eventually snap back. It always does. And for those of you who think it won't snap back, the methinks unrelenting, then I really want you to state, and you can write it here in the comments, I want you to state unequivocally and with all seriousness, I want you to state there will never be a stock market correction again, ever. And I want you to state that, with conviction. And I think just saying that will make you understand how crazy a statement that is. So the point is, what do? If you have a defensive position on in the market now, let's say you have STS or one of these inverse indices, do you jump out? Do you take your big loss and lick your wounds? This is where forecasting or having a view goes to trading strategy and tactics. In other words, we none of us can know the future with 100% certainty. I use a methodology, I use an approach, I use a type of analysis which is pretty accurate and most of the time gives me the correct outcome. But I admit, and I have admitted in the past, that I cannot predict the future with 100% accuracy, and I don't try to, fool myself into thinking that I can. And that's where trading tactics and strategies come into play. What do you do in a situation like this where your outlook ended up to be wrong, or at least temporarily wrong? I will tell you personally that the answer is not jump out and take a loss. All right. Losing is not the path to winning. I mean, that should be obvious. Losing is not the path to winning. And for those of you who think, well, if you get out, you'll make money. You don't. That's again, it's a fallacy because you don't know the future. You don't know with certainty that your next trade is going to be a profit. It could be another loss. So you have to. What the market is demanding of you right now. I mean, if you look at the conditions, it's got to go back 25 years to see something like this. It's clearly an aberration. It is demanding patience of you. I mean, unless you can state unequivocally and with total conviction and seriousness, if you're going to come up and state there's never going to be a market correction again, ever, ever, ever. I mean, if you state that with conviction and really believe that, I mean, good luck to you. So basically, and I think by saying that, as I said earlier, it will make you understand the folly and the ridiculousness of that statement. And you will understand at the same time that what the market is asking of you is patience. What do you do in the meantime? There are things you can do. All right. I often, um, use the comparison to martial arts or jujitsu, which I'm a practitioner of jujitsu. Sometimes your opponent will have the upper hand, will have you in a position that gives him the advantage. What do? Do you tap out? You only tap out if it's absolutely 100% necessary. But you sit and you wait. You work your defenses, you stay calm, you stay patient, and you wait for your opponent to make a move that you can capitalize on. So right now, the market is asking patience of you. There will be a correction. I'll sign that anywhere that if you want me to sign it to say there will be a correction. Markets go through corrections. We're in an unusual market condition right now. Like I said, you got to go back a quarter of a century to see something similar. And by the way, market had a correction after that as well. In the meantime, let's understand if the market is telling us something, if there's a message here, what might that message be? Well, if the stock market keeps going up, maybe it's saying, economic growth is going to increase, accelerate. So therefore, there are things we can do. Okay, that acceleration would bring with it a reaction by the Federal Reserve, I'm guessing, and also some higher inflation. So gold is an option. It's going to go up. It's down today, but that's a great buying opportunity. It's going to go up. If the Fed starts raising interest rates again, treasuries are going to go down. All right, they're down a little bit today. I wouldn't sell them on a down day, but on days that they pop up, that's another thing that you can do. The TBT is that inverse treasury ETF. That's something you might want to look at. So, to sum up, you do not tap out. The market is demanding patience of you. There will be a market correction. I guarantee you 1,000% that there will be a market correction. We are in an unusual market condition. You have to go back 25 years to see something similar. And in between 25 years ago and now, we've had many, many different corrections, including a financial crash. All right. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying, what do you do? What do you do? Some of you are wondering, what should you do? You do not take a loss. You work your defenses and you wait patiently for your opportunity, just like that jiu-jitsu practitioner that I'm telling you about, where the opponent for the time being has the advantage and you don't tap out, you wait for your opportunity. That's what you do. All right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.